love it. Put your hands together for Dan Sebring.
Man, what a show! How's it going, everybody? This has been a great show. Rochelle's so fucking funny. I was laughing my ass off the whole time, and I was like, man, whoever's up next is fucked. And they said my name. I was like, oh no. So, thank you. Cameron, I've been waiting for that all night. No more. That's the only one. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. I'm not in charge. Hello, what's up? My name's Dan. How we doing, everybody? Hell yeah, right on. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little nervous, okay? I'm not from here. I'm from Dayton. You can probably tell because I look poor and talk stupid. But so I get nervous when I gotta perform in towns like I'm not from. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, man, will the people in this town like get my sense of humor? Will they understand the way I see the world? Will you guys think I'm funny? That's like a legitimate fear I have every day of my life. But when I got into town today, the first thing I had to do was get gas, and I pulled up to the gas station, and I saw somebody smoking at the pump, and I was like, I'll be all right. You guys fucking get me. So we're going to have a kick-ass time. And by the way, just so you know, before we get going, I just do a bunch of jokes in a row till I'm done. I have no segues, I have no themes. And I am not trying to make you smarter or better people, okay? I'm sorry your parents fucked you, but that's not my responsibility, okay? So anyway, next joke. You know how Hollywood's all out of ideas? They're just making a bunch of prequels and sequels to stuff that already exists? I love that kind of creativity, and I think we should start doing that with music, you know? Like, you know that song, Whoop, There It Is? I think there should be a prequel to that song called Dang, Where'd I Put It? And some of you aren't thinking hard enough. Right? Dude, that'd be fucking sick. To have a prequel like, dang, where'd I put it? Ah, whoop, there it is. You know what I mean? Like that. Can you imagine like being in the club and hearing both those songs on two different floors, like back to back, you know? Dang, where'd I put it? There it is! Dude, that was terminally right. That was fucked up. It's fucked up. There's like 8 people who did a good job. Hell yeah, you guys are cool. Yo, give it up for Hannah for putting this whole thing, hashtag, and everybody else you see. This show's been great. Hannah gave me a great intro. She said, I'm taping a special. She said, I'm funny. That's fucking cool. I did shows in Michigan a month ago. Not bragging. But, and I live here now. I live in Columbus now. And so I was going, the host of the show was like, every show he introduced me in fucking Detroit, he's like, this next comedian is from Columbus, Ohio. And then I got booed so fucking hard. And I don't know if you've ever been booed on your way into work before, but it really fucks up the way you feel, you know. But I was like, we did 6 shows, it was like the 5th show, I was like, hey, you gotta knock that shit off. I was like, I don't know if you've been booed before, it fucking sucks. And I didn't even get a chance to fuck up, you know what I mean? It was just like, I don't know where you're from, fuck you, bitch, or whatever. I was like, also, I'm not even from here. I think it's funny when Ohio State loses, okay? I do. I love it when teenagers flip cars. I think it's great. But you know, and so I was like, hey, can you change up the intro? And he was like, bet, I got you. I was like, this isn't gonna be good. And this is what he said. He was like, your next comedian coming to the stage takes no prisoners. I was like, that is not better. Right? It's also like, duh, I don't take prisoners, right? I certainly don't look like I could. You know what I mean? Like, at most, it looks like I take pies cooling on windowsills. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I'm doing. You know. But like, obviously, I don't look. Yeah, I'm hungry too. But like, I don't look like I've ever been a cop. I don't look like I've ever been in the military. You know. Like, the closest I ever got to taking a prisoner is one time I did a bunch of coke and then had a conversation with somebody that wasn't on coke, and that was about as close as I got to taking a prisoner, but it's only a few minutes, but it wasn't too bad. Cool, this is good. I think the special is gonna be all right, but yeah. But I was in Michigan, and I had to drive there, and you can tell you get from Michigan from Ohio because the roads get worse, but the weed gets better, which is good. I think that's a good trade-off, right? But yeah, dude. But I know with all their extra taxes, the roads still suck ass. It's crazy. But they have these signs in Michigan. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're the only state in the country that I've seen that have these signs. They're only in construction zones. And these signs say, if you hit and injure or kill a Michigan construction worker, you may receive a fine up to $7,500. And I saw like 20 of these signs over like 4 days. And every time I passed one, I was like, that's pretty affordable. You know what I mean? Like that's insultingly low. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, God forbid I hit and kill a construction worker in Michigan. It'd fuck my ear up, but I'd be all right. You know, like that, right? Like, I could afford it. I'm a comedian. That's embarrassing. You know, like you know that scene in Tiger King? Have you ever seen that show Tiger King? Where there's that scene and he's like, I'm never gonna financially recover from this. Yo, if I kill somebody in Michigan with my car, I'd be like, I can definitely financially recover from this. Also, I don't know if you listened to what I said before. It said you may receive a fine up to $7,500. So it can be less, which goddamn. Imagine finding out your dad's not worth a 2012 used Honda Civic, you know? It's gotta... Also, I don't know if you've been listening, it said may receive a fine. So you might get off scot-free. What the fuck? Like, what does that look like? Right? What's that scene? Like, you're just driving and you like hit some construction worker and you're freaking out like, oh my God, my ear is fucked. This is gonna be bad. I can't do it. And then you pull over and the foreman comes over, he knocks on the window, he's like, hey, roll it down. And you're freaking out. You're like, oh God, I'm so sorry, I screwed up. He's like, hey, take a beat, deep breath, all right? Just calm down for a second, okay? Now listen. Between you, me, and the lamppost, we've been trying to fire that guy for like 6 months. Fucking unions, you know how it is. So this one's on the house. Go get him, Tiger. Bang, bang, or whatever. We're good to go. All right, this next joke is going to sound, it's a very boomer take, but I think it's fun. All right, I'm 31. I'm a millennial, and I think millennials and Gen Z, we got to admit it to ourselves. We're a little bit lazy as a generation, okay? I know that sounds a little shitty coming from me, but here's the thing. I have proof. You know how I know this? Because we don't have serial killers anymore. We just got mass shooters, which, lazy, instant gratification bullshit, if you ask me. This one never goes as good as I want, but... Dude, it's this TikTok generation, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to fucking put the work in, put boots to the ground, go out and stalk a fucking lady, you know? You used to have skills, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. If you were going to be like a killer back in the day, you'd have to like cut out letters from a magazine and like fill out an envelope, you know what I mean? Like actual skills, you know? Most mass shooters don't even finish school, you know what I mean? Like... There's another line. You know, because like it used to be like you'd have a type. That's who usually a white lady. And what you do is you find somebody and you're like, that's my gal, stab, 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 or whatever the fuck you do. Now they don't have types. They just pull up, start blasting. This DEI has got to stop. Okay, all right, that's all right. That was shitty. All right. All right, this next one's about politics, but it's very, very funny, so don't worry about it. The last one was about passion, but... Dude, I legitimately think it is bananas that someone tried to kill Trump 6 months ago, and then 3 days after it happened, collectively, as a country, every single one of us was like, I don't really give a fuck about that, and then just moved on with their life. That's incredible, right? And I think I know why, because I think deep down, whether you love Trump or whether you hate Trump, When we heard the news, every single person had the same reaction, right? And that reaction was, that took longer than I thought it would. You know what I mean? Like that's... like, whether you love him or hate him, I think we all kind of saw that for him, you know? There's not one person on this earth that heard that news and was like, no! Most people were like, no shit, really? You know? Now, this next thing I'm about to say is going to sound smart, and I don't mean it to, so I apologize in advance. But I think the reason why we don't talk about it as a country is because the media couldn't figure out who to blame, you know what I mean? Like, I saw it on both sides. Like, I saw some people be like, obviously this guy's a conservative, he's got a fucking gun. And I'm like, I don't know, man, I think he's liberal. He missed. So, it's... a real patriot would have fucking hit front and center, you know what I mean? That's, just saying. But, all right. I feel like we've got to know each other pretty good at this point. I can tell you whether you like it or not. I think I can tell you one of my favorite hobbies in the entire universe is I like to smoke a shitload of weed. Thank you. And watch Fox News and pretend it's satire. Now listen. Dude, it is so funny if you pretend it's not real. It's crazy. I'll get so stoned and be like, damn, when did SNL get this good? Is this the 50th? Is that what? This is crazy. My favorite thing about like Fox News, and like they all do the same thing, CNN, MS, they all do the same thing, is they'll bring a guest on the TV, and they'll have the guest on the screen, and in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it'll say the guest's name, and then underneath their name, a little blurb about what they're known for, right? So one day I was watching Fox News, and they were like, coming up next after the commercial break, Kyle Rittenhouse. And I was like, sketch of the year coming up, baby, let's go. So I'm gonna take a few more hits, put it out, and then they bring Kyle Rittenhouse on the TV. It says, bottom left-hand corner of the screen, it says, Kyle Rittenhouse. You know what it says underneath his name? The little blurb? Second Amendment advocate. Get the fuck out of town. That's not why we know that guy, right? That's a whole lot of spin to put on the reason is why we know who that dude is. You understand how wild that is? That's like if CNN brought on Casey Anthony and was like, look, she's pro-choice. I don't have to fucking tell you. All right, I feel like most people don't know who that is. I got. If that didn't get your goat, I got another line for you. That's like MSNBC bringing on Luigi Mangione and being like, look, dog, he's an insurance adjuster, okay? All right, guys, thank you very, very much. My name is Dan Seaver.